Hi friends, I'm back today going to share a video with highlighting some of the products that I sell in my Etsy shop and just a couple of little tips on things that I do that you might be interested in. First of all, I wanted to talk about a friend of mine, Tanya. She has an Etsy shop called Scribbles in Time, and she has a YouTube channel called Scribbles in Time. She is an amazing artist. Her work is beautiful, very unique. The things I've seen have been mainly nature journals, but I think she does other things too. But if you could, I would love for you to take a look at her shop and her videos. She really does amazing things. But what I wanted to do today was just talk about some of the things that I make and wanted to share a couple of hints with you. I'm going to stop the video for a second and get set up, and then we'll go. Please bear with me. I was going to say I'm new to this, so if y'all have any comments or suggestions, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Just a moment. The first thing I wanted to talk about was I make these, I call them journal inserts. It's a rusted metal prong hinge that I've attached to some corrugated cardboard. It has various sheets of paper. This one has all the same kind of paper, writing paper, but sometimes I use various different things. But the nice thing about it is you can take these papers out, you could add to it, you could do different things. So it's pretty versatile. It's pretty low profile, so it fits in your journals fairly easy. Then I was going to say, make that with corrugated cardboard. So I love corrugated cardboard. I learned a tip, and I sprayed this with water, but normally if you just have a pan and you put it down in the water and really kind of bring it back out, this packing will come off so much easier. And let's see if it works for me. But that just really comes off, and I just sprayed it with some water. So I love this paper. I use this for tags. It just has some dimension. It has some lines. If you can find some where the back is plain, then you've got a pretty good tag. So like I say, it's just corrugated cardboard. And if you put it in a little water, the paper comes off very easily. So that's one hint. And then I think I saw Gail do this. I thought I had discovered this, but somebody else did it. You know, when you tear paper, you can't always get, it doesn't tear nice and neat or whatever. This page wasn't a good example. But if you take these deco scissors, they have like a jagged edge to them. It just makes it go so much faster. And to me, it's easier to get a edge that I want. That's what I did on this. That just did I even cut the cardboard with it. So I use those a lot. So those come in handy. I think it was Gail August. I'm not sure how to say her last name, but she had that on one of her videos. Okay, I'm going to stop the camera again for a second and set up some other things that I make, and we'll go from there. Okay, what I wanted to talk about now were the metal rim tags. I sell these in my shop. I tea dye them and I have three sizes. This is a large. It's 2 1/4, I believe. The next size is, this size, and I believe that's 1 5/8. And then the small is 1 1/4. So they're just various sizes. I have those three sizes. And then what I do with them, like I say, I have them plain, and then I also cover them with various papers. This is just old book paper. This is some writing paper. All these have been tea dyed. This is ledger paper, an old map paper, some tea dyed graph paper. This is just a time card, and then this is the sewing paper that comes in your patterns. So I use that. And then I do different things on them. Let me show you some of the things that I do. Like on this journal, I added, it's a piece of ledger paper, and I just stuck it onto the page, and it's a tuck spot. So that's one idea, and I have a little Imagine on there. And the other thing I do with this book paper is I will stamp on it. So that's just pretty easy. And then I will embellish them sometimes. This is one just book paper, a little bingo number, some trim, and some bling. So they're all done differently. This is the tracing paper, just a guest check number, and just some different things. And that's not in focus, is it? I can't seem to get it to focus, sorry. But maybe you can live with that. This was an idea that I had. This I just stamped on there. I stamped the flowers. I stamped the word happiness. I used a little bit of denim and oh, what is that? I can't think of the name, but it just hooks that on. So that's just a little pull spot. Okay, this is just another one that I collaged on. Old book paper, some matte paper, a stamp, and then some denim that I stamped on. Again, this is a collage where old book paper, I stamped on it. I added a little flower, the word fly. And then here's another one, just a ticket on the old book paper and the word believe. Very easy. And then this was a tag that I made, and it was just old book paper and some denim, a little bit of rhinestone bling, some lace. And then I added a tag. And so you could do, anything. You could add a different tag. So you could change the look around. But it just makes it versatile, and I think that's a great addition to a junk journal. So I have that. And then I also take the tags and I get a bunch of these ready for journals, so when I am making my journals, I can just find one and add it to my journal. But on this one, I stamped the image, and then I put Versamark, and then I used the UD embossing powder, and I just embossed it, and it just gave it a different look, a different feel. It's darker. It kind of seems more vintage. So that's one example of that. And then on this one, I took just an old photograph from a music book, and I cut him out, and then I put him on here and did the Versamark and the powder, the embossing powder, and he just has a little shine to him. Just again, it just looks a little different. Gives a little more dimension. Again, here's another one where I stamped on it, and then I put the embossing powder, and just gives it a different feel, kind of a little glossy. And then here it kind of ages it, makes it look maybe a little more vintage. Here's a measure stamp, and then I went over it with the embossing powder. Then this one I used some of the rusted metal prongs that I have in my store, and let me show you those. Let me turn it off and I'll get it set up. Okay, I'm back. Again, this is just a little tag that not a tag, but a prong that I rusted, and I used it on the tag. A lot of times I combine it with a little metal washer that I've rusted, and then add it to the tag, and it just gives a little bit more dimension. I have some bigger washers that I've rusted. Again, I have the prongs and the metal washers, and I can show you this is one example of how I used it. This was another example where I just used the washer on a tag, and it doesn't really add any bulk or dimension to it. It just gives it a nice different look if you like that. And let me stop again. I'm going to see if I can show you something else. Okay, this is a little journal that I made, a blank journal, and I took a metal rim tag and I put some denim on there, and then I stamped the numbers on there, so that made it look a little bit different. Something else that I sell in my shop is I sell these bulldog clips with a chain, and that's how I keep my junk journals closed, and I really like those. And so I have those for sale. And I also wanted to show you, I make denim tags, and I have a set of these in my Etsy shop that are for sale. They're all a little bit different, but I stamp on the denim, and then I'll add different things. So that's an example. Here's an example of a denim little tuck spot that I just stamped the wildflowers on. Let me show you the other. These are the other stamps that or the other tags that I have in the set. Like I say, it's just stamped on denim. And these would be added to a journal. You could put a hole in there if you wanted. You could add a rusted clip, a rusted hole reinforcer, I guess is what you would call that. So that's those. And then I also sell squares of dark denim, and they're 5 by 5, and I sell these. You could use them in your journals where you take one and you on a page and you make a tab. So you cut them down and you could make a tab for a page on a journal. So there's a lot of things you could do on them. Sometimes I make tags, and I sell a set of these in my Etsy shop, and it could be a tuck spot, or you could finish and collage on there. So that's just another idea. So these are just some things that I wanted to share with you today, and hope you'll perhaps go over to my Etsy shop and take a look. You might find something you like. Thank you so much. And again, don't forget to check out Tanya at Scribbles in Time on Etsy and YouTube. Thank you.